Hi, my name is Matt with Urban ERT Slings, here to discuss how to install the URBAN-SENTRY Hybrid Sling onto an FS2000. Here I have the FS2000 Tactical. It's also the same as the CQB. The only difference between the CQB Tactical and the standard is going to be the integrated optic with the big shroud on it. The shroud is going to have a sling swivel right about here on the actual front of the shroud, whereas the FS2000 CQB and Tactical have two metal rings here. If you are lucky enough to have the FS2000 with some Picatinny rails on the side, you can install an additional part here that transfers the mash clip from this location down here, which just gets away from the gas port. The problem with that is the gas port blows out hot gas, tends to melt things. So we ship with the FS2000 Tactical and CQB model, we ship the sling with a mash clip that has a elastic silencer on. We ship that with all of the mash clips. Go ahead and remove that. That's going to burn on the FS2000 because of the gas port. It's not designed to be on there. As far as the weapon goes, make sure it's unloaded. Make sure that you've visually and physically inspected that. And then when you get the sling, it's going to arrive just like so. It's going to be packaged and configured into a 2-point sling. For easy reference, you can look at the catalog at page 4 and 5. It has diagrams on how to reconfigure the sling from 2-point to 1-point. You can also view this video on our website. It's got written instructions on page 5. If you happen to get the enhanced rush sling, that's going to be page 1 and 2. It's not the adapters that you have to worry about. It's the actual sling that is going to be on this page, because it can rapidly transform from 2-point to 1-point if you get that specific kit. When you remove your sling contents from the packaging, you're going to see that you have an FS2000 harness. It's going to look sort of like a T. It's going to have an extra male buckle on it with the female male buckles plugged into each other. It's going to have a mash clip. This is the silencer that I was referring to that you need to remove when you install this kit onto an FS2000. You can keep it on there. Just keep in mind when you're shooting, you need to take it off or slide it all the way back over the male buckle to keep it away from the hot gases. Again, this is just a problem with the FS2000. It's not really a problem with most other weapons that have the sling attachment nowhere near the gas port. Next item is going to be ambi ring assembly. This is an ambidextrous ring assembly. It's going to have a male buckle on one end, a female buckle on the other, and a ring in the middle. This is designed specifically to configure the sling into a dedicated 1-point. If you order the optional weapon sketch adapter, this is what this is. It's a female buckle with webbing that can be rapidly attached to either body armor or your belt, which secures the front of the weapon to your offhand side when you have the sling configured into a dedicated 1-point. If you do not order this kit, it will not be a part of the package. Next, you have the sling. This is the URBAN-SENTRY Hybrid Sling configured as a 2-point. It's going to have the cinch strap on one end, the 1-inch cinch strap. Where you pull the tab, it shortens the sling circumference and lengthens. It's going to have a quick release pull cord. Give it a jerk and it disconnects the cinch strap from the sling, thus freeing you from the sling if you have to get out of it. It's going to have PALS webbing sewn to the actual sling body. This is to attach a small pouch of quick clot or any other small accessory like a cleaning kit you need to attach to the weapon on the go. It's going to have the elastic expander, which expands when you breathe in and out, moving around. It's not like bungee slings that tend to bounce up and down. The problem with those is if you're running, jumping, climbing, the bungee slings will bounce up and down, causing the weapon to strike you in the face. Now, to discuss how to configure the sling from a 2-point to 1-point, you would simply use the ambi ring assembly. On each end of the sling, the 2-inch main body, there's going to be locking speed tabs. The locking speed tabs allow you to remove the components of the sling to reconfigure it from 2-point to 1-point. To do that, you simply make sure that this little locking tab and the webbing is pushed in so that you can pull it out. And what that does is it allows this little tab to go underneath the plastic loop to disassemble, just like the chin strap of a motorcycle helmet. Okay? You want to remove that female buckle. On the opposite side, the elastic side, you're going to have the same speed tab, locking speed tab. Push the webbing through in order to pull so that tab can fit underneath the plastic loop and disassemble it like the chin strap of a motorcycle helmet. Now you have the cinch strap, the ambi ring, the female buckle, and the sling main body. Now, it's real easy to remember how to reconfigure this. Number one, you can just rewatch the video, but primarily, this elastic expander is always going to go down by your offhand side. So I'm right-handed, it's always going to be here. No matter if it's 2-point or 1-point, it's going to be down here. It's never going to be on your shoulder, bouncing up and down, chafing, okay? You don't want that chafing in your neck, and you don't want the weapon to bounce up and down. So as long as you remember that this elastic expander is always going to be down by your waist, it's going to be easy to remember. So in 2-point mode, the cinch strap is installed on the elastic side. For 1-point mode, the cinch strap is simply moved to the non-elastic side. So what you're going to do to make sure you have it configured correctly is make sure the label is facing down on the table. On the back of here it says ITW Nexus. Make sure that's facing down on the table, and you simply run the webbing up through the bottom of the only slot available, and then feed the webbing directly through the 2 plastic loops, pull it tight, fold it back over, and put it back through this last loop. And this is configured just like the chin strap of a motorcycle helmet, ensuring, in this case, that the little locking tab is sticking up over the top of the plastic loop. That will keep it from ever coming undone when you don't want it to. The next thing you want to do is have the PALS webbing up facing you, with the sling facing away, and the ambi ring assembly. This female buckle is only used for 2-point mode. You're not going to use it for 1-point mode. You want to put the webbing of the last speed tab through the ring. It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as it gets through it, and then make a V out of it. So right now, this male buckle is pointing to my left. That's for left-hand use. Flip it around, and now in this case, the male buckle is pointing to my right. It's for right-hand use. So you want to go ahead and feed the webbing through the 2 loops, back over to the second loop, and making sure that the little tab is facing over the top. Now, what you've done is you've assembled the sling, or reconfigured the sling into a dedicated 1-point. Okay, to go back to 2-point, what you're going to do is remove the speed tab from the plastic loops, pull the ambi ring assembly completely off, do the exact same thing on the non-elastic side, removing the webbing from the plastic loops, removing the cinch strap, and placing it onto the elastic side, keeping in mind that the label for the sling and the label for the Snapdragon are both pointing the same direction. Reassemble it just like the chin strap of a motorcycle helmet, and in this case again ensuring that the little tab of webbing is sticking up. That prevents it from coming undone when not being used. Female buckle, you want to make sure that again the label's facing down, the opening of the female buckle is facing down, so that when you assemble it, this is pointing outward. And again, making sure that the locking tab is locked over the top of those loops. Now the sling is reconfigured into a dedicated 2-point. So now we'll take this and set it aside and show you how to install the sling harness onto the actual weapon itself. Mash clip, it's real easy. You can either clip it directly to another component that hooks to a Picatinny rail, or if you get it standard from the factory with no other installation points, you're going to use the factory sling attachments. Just click it on. Now the match clip, you simply pull or push these 2 push buttons together. What that does is it separates it like a keychain, and you just install the loop onto the actual part. Now for the harness, what you're going to have here is the FS2000 rear harness. remove the male buckles from the female buckles, set that aside, and this is the vertical harness for the FS2000. This is the horizontal harness that goes through the thumb hole stock. So what you're going to do first is you're going to remove the butt plate on the weapon, pull the trigger pack out, and you want to point these two female buckles forward and unvelcro the rear harness. And now on the inside of the harness, you're going to have this little 2" by 1" Velcro tab. Okay? How this works is you have on the factory sling attachments, you have 2 slots with the female buckle facing forward and the hook Velcro facing up. Insert it into the bottom slot, just like so. Once it's inserted into the bottom slot with the Velcro facing up, you now insert the inside portion of the webbing back through so that it's going in the bottom and out the top of the right side of the weapon. And you want to make sure that once you get it through, you align the 2 mating surfaces of the Velcro back together so that it maintains the harness on the back of the stock. Next, put your trigger pack back in. Take the butt plate, install it on the back of the stock. Route the webbing of the harness over the top of the actual weapon. Don't worry about the position of the webbing at this point. Take the longer Velcro harness, pull it through, just lightly close it down, and what you're looking for is these female buckles to be equal, and you can dress it up by making sure that it's pulled forward and that they are equally along the side of the stock, and then simply pull it tight and apply the Velcro, like so. Now, next thing you want to do is the horizontal harness of the FS2000 rear harness. It's going to have 2 male buckles piggybacked. Now, since I'm right-handed, I'm going to place this on the left side of the weapon. If you were left-handed, you would simply place that longer buckle with the piggyback on the right side. But I'm right-handed, so I'm going to take the 2 piggybacked buckles, plug the long one in so that this is piggyback sticking up right over where the magwell is. Insert it through the thumb hole, bring it around, and plug it in. Now, that's a little loose, so to make it tighter, you simply unvelcro it. Just like the strap lock on a backpack, you want to pull that a little bit tighter, reapply the Velcro, make sure it's nice and flat and dressed. Go ahead and position the male buckle and female buckle together and squeeze it. Now that's relatively tight, it's not going to go anywhere. Hook the mash clip to it. Take the non-elastic side of the sling and 2-point, plug it into the back of the sling, or the back of the harness. Take the cinch strap, female buckle, plug it into the front. Now the sling is configured as a 2-point. Now, one feature that you have the ability to use when the sling is configured into a dedicated 1-point and hooked only to the back is obviously, as I explained, this weapon sketch adapter you would attach to either your belt on your offhand side, and you can also put it on the body armor on your offhand side. And what that allows you to do is utilize this unused front mash clip adapter here so that when the sling is configured as a 1-point, you can secure the front of the weapon to your offhand side, keeping the weapon pinned up against you versus letting the weapon flop around. Now, if you do decide that you need to get the enhanced rush version of the sling kit, By default, you already have the mash clip for the front of the FS2000 Tactical and CQB. And what that is you can go to the search field. In addition to the FS2000 sling, you can just go to the search field at the top right hand side of the website and type in 0-35. And what you're going to get is this. This is the speed ring. This replaces the female buckle. So you disassemble the webbing on the female buckle side, the non-elastic side of the sling, remove the female buckle, and you would simply install this ring onto the actual non-elastic side of the body, making sure that the little locking tab is up. And now what you've done is you've essentially turned this sling into not the URBAN-SENTRY Hybrid Sling, but the Rapid URBAN-SENTRY Hybrid Sling, where it allows you to rapidly transform the sling from a 2-point to a 1-point simply by unclipping here, bringing it up, clipping it in, and now the sling is a 1-point. So instead of having to use the weapon sketch adapter on your belt to secure the front of your offhand side, all you have to do is unclip the mash clip, bring it to the front sling attachment, and make it into a 1-point. Now the weapon is secured. One way to cheat, so you don't have to go buy another product, is if you never intend on utilizing the sling in a dedicated 1-point, you can take the included ambi ring assembly that comes with the kit, and you can just cut the male buckle and cut the webbing off, and that is essentially what you get when you do that, the speed ring. So simply cut the male buckle, webbing off, make this into a speed ring, install it on the non-elastic side, and that gets you the sling that can go from 2-point to 1-point rapidly. If you do have the FS2000 standard that has the integrated optic with the shroud on it, you're not going to have these two little metal rings here. What you're going to have is something similar to the swivel that's on top of the shroud that swivels back and forth. It's going to be a plastic or metal swivel depending on what they've installed on your weapon. And what you're going to do is you're going to get the speed loop male webbing adapter. This is a double locking male adapter, and what that means is you can install it on the swivel where it's long or where it's short, and I'll show you how to do that. So when you get it, it's going to be assembled. Push the webbing through so that you can get that little locking tab underneath the plastic loop. You're going to disassemble it just like the chin strap of a motorcycle helmet. Okay, and it's going to be like so. Now again, this swivel is going to be on top of the weapon. You just feed the webbing through the swivel, and then you have two options. The first one being like it is when you receive it. Feed it through both of the plastic loops, pull it through, and then fold it over and make sure the little tab is over the top. Now you can see that's a little bit longer. Okay, if you want it shorter, what you do is instead of feeding it through both plastic loops, once you put it through the swivel, feed it through only one of the plastic loops. Pull it tight, feed it back through the swivel on top of the weapon, and then on the back side you'll have that remaining loop that's straddling the webbing. Feed it through, making sure that the little tab is sticking on top, and as you can see now, it's a little bit shorter. Just makes it for an easier lower profile fitting so that it's not sticking out so long. And this webbing, the speed loop male webbing adapter is pretty much universal to any weapon that has a swivel. It's not specific to the FS2000. It's just this is what you're going to get if you order the FS2000 sling kit for the standard. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, feel free to give us a call at 317-223-6509, or you can email us at info@urbanertslings.com. Thank you. God damn, I can fucking either the URBAN-SENTRY Sling. I didn't ever get you. Flashcards. You got a good flashcard. Yeah, I can't brain.